So there you have three things to consider with somebody to trust. Now, it's easy if the person's already arrived, and by all means, put trust in those good people who are already demonstrating they're doing something significant now. But if somebody says, well, I'd like to be a missionary, but they don't get their homework done in school, and that you got to get on their case and you got to mentor them to say, no, you've got to establish this kind of faithfulness, because if you're going to be a missionary someday, you're going to have to be faithful when nobody else is there around you to hold you accountable. You're going to have to be accountable to yourself, and you teach them by giving them little tasks before they get the big task. You've got to test them before you appoint them, and let them know that they have to first demonstrate the behavior. The very best predictor of future behavior is past behavior. If in fact we leave grace out of the equation, but of course we don't want to leave grace out of the equation because we're all about grace. And so we can recognize that we'll take ordinary weak people, give them a little test. And if they pass it, give them a little harder test. If they pass it, give them a little harder test. And then they're ready to be appointed to some point of significant servant leadership in the life of the church. People have got to understand that you don't just jump from the bottom rung of the ladder to the top. Now, it doesn't take long to demonstrate that people are trustworthy. You give them a little and see how they respond to it. It's not a matter of time. It's a matter of incidence. You follow that, right? It's not a matter of, well, a year from now, we'll appoint you to something. Well, time doesn't achieve anything here. It's incidents, the things that you give them. When somebody says, I'm ready for the next step, you say, well, you think you are, right? Well, how about you take on this one? And you give them something they don't want to do and find out how they do with it. Because no matter where you are in Christian leadership, there are going to be things that you don't feel like doing, things that you feel like putting off. There'll be pet projects you want to do first before all the other things. But make sure that that person can do the distasteful things and take on the unlovely people to demonstrate love to the people who are really not the people that are the beautiful people that are easy to love, people that are tedious in some way. That's how you prove that that person is trustworthy, if they can take on something that's really not desirable and do the best they can with it. So you put all these three things together along with all the other things we've been talking about over several sessions, and you look for them all in one playlist here that demonstrate how you're going to rebuild trust. We live in a world where trust is diminishing in institutions and trust is diminishing in leaders. And it's hard for people. Some young people are just folding their arms and say, oh, no, he's got any integrity, so I don't want to trust. And they want authenticity. And you can be the authentic person and demonstrate to others how to bring them along. And then take those people who say, well, I would if others were. Then you got to say, no, you've got to take care of your own stuff. Keep your own kitchen in order. And then God may use you in a marvelous way.